Gringotts, the wizard bank. Ain't no safer place, except perhaps Hogwarts.
But is Hogwarts really that safe? Well, let's take a look at the defense lines protecting the Philosopher's Stone. Especially now that HBO is adapting the first book, we're going to rank these defenses and discuss how they could be improved. Because honestly, nobody wants childish defenses guarding the supposedly safest place in the world. Let's begin. There were 8 defenses protecting the stone. The door in the 3rd floor corridor, conveniently highlighted by Dumbledore during the opening feast, Hagrid's 3-headed dog Fluffy, Professor Sprout's devil snare, Professor Flitwick's flying keys, Professor Quirrell's mountain troll, Professor McGonagall's chessboard, Professor Snape's potions, and finally, Dumbledore's mirror. At rank 8, the door. Dumbledore put everything behind a door and locked it with a charm that can be undone by a spell every first year knows, Alohomora. And this is the same man who later called Voldemort's Horcrux protections elementary in Book 6. Compare this door to the doors of Durin from The Lord of the Rings. At least that door had a hidden key and looked much cooler. At rank 7, the troll. Harry and Ron, 2 11-year-olds, managed to defeat a troll while helping Hermione. They never had to fight the troll on their way to the stone because Quirrell had already knocked it out. But I suspect it wouldn't have been that difficult anyway. Still, I don't have many complaints here. Quirrell was a traitor, so we really can't expect him to create an impressive line of defense. At rank 6, Devil's Snare. Hermione, a first-year student, knew exactly how to deal with it. Just stay still and you're fine. Heat also weakens the plant. With that many weaknesses, it's definitely not a great defensive option. At rank 5, Snape's potions. This defense was apparently so unsuitable for adaptation that it didn't even make it into the original movie. And honestly, it wasn't that great of a defense either. It was basically a logic puzzle that Hermione solved in about 2 seconds. However, HBO has a great opportunity to bring this scene to life. In the book, both exits of the room are suddenly blocked by curtains of fire, and the only way through is by drinking the correct potion. Making the flames more dramatic and showing Harry and Hermione unsuccessfully trying to extinguish them could make this sequence much more screen-worthy. Though, at the very least, remove the letter that practically explains how to solve the puzzle. At rank 4, Fluffy, the 3-headed dog. This was actually a solid defense. Terrifying, intimidating, and difficult to get past. The only problem was that Hagrid simply couldn't keep his mouth shut. At rank 3, the chess game. This was an excellent defense, exactly what you would expect from Professor McGonagall. The scariest thing about it for me was that it was never made clear what would happen if you lost. Would all the chess pieces attack? Would you die? We simply don't know. Either way, this should make for some fantastic scenes in the HBO adaptation, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with it. At rank 2, the flying keys. Putting this above the chess game was a tough choice. But what really interests me is this. How did Quirrell and Voldemort find the right key? They damaged it, which made Harry's job much easier. And as a side question, why didn't Quirrell simply take the key with him? He could have locked everyone else behind him and bought himself much more time. And finally, at rank 1, the Mirror of Erised. We have to admit it, this was a genius protection. The only person who can retrieve the stone is someone who wants to find it, but not use it for themselves. In other words, only a true protector of the stone can obtain it. It not only stopped Voldemort, but also proved that Harry was trustworthy. So maybe Dumbledore was right to call Voldemort's protections elementary after all. How would you rank these defenses? And would you prefer to see them exactly as they were described in the books, or are you open to changes that make them work better on screen?